We are going to be breaking down the biggest Bachelor news of the week. We have so much to get into. Hey guys, and welcome back to another shared news. We're going to be talking about all of the biggest moments in Bachelor Nation this week. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you never miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by the lovely Gianna Gravalese and Gabby Gonta. Gianna, Gabby, how are you guys doing today? Any exciting weekend plans?
Well, I'm just thriving now that I am officially out of quarantine. I had COVID this whole week, but I finally have
Mm.
tested negative. So I think I'm still gonna lay low though. Might just go out to eat or something.
Ooh.
Nothing really big. But Gabby, what about you?
Yes, one of my friends is in town from Florida, so we're gonna have a fun weekend here in LA, and it's a long weekend, which is always super fun. Although I'm pretty sad we're missing Bachelor on Monday, and we have to wait an extra week, so pretty bummed about that.
Yeah, we're gonna have to sit through a week of football before we get The Bachelor back in 2 weeks. But we're gonna talk all about The Bachelor today, and we'll probably be talking about it next week too. So rest assured, Gabby, you'll get plenty of Bachelor tea because we have some topics to get into today, starting off with Michael A. and Amanda Kloots. The pair first hung out in Ohio a couple weeks ago. They captioned their photos saying that they were, nice to see each other as friends, but then they reunited in Los Angeles. Now, Nick Viall did confirm on his Instagram stories that the two of them were just friends, but do we think that it's the early stages of their relationship? Because we know that they're both widows. They're both super fans of The Bachelor, and Amanda was on Dancing with the Stars. They're in the ABC family. Gianna, what do we think about this possible ship?
I ship it. I am obsessed with these two. I really hope that they do start dating. But if not, I think that this is such a beautiful friendship because, as you mentioned, they've both been through that same horrible experience. So they can unfortunately relate on the fact that both of their spouses had passed away. But I do like, dating's still not out of the cards. I know it's like people get annoyed when like as reporters like speculate that they're dating just because they hung out, but like these two seem like a match made in heaven for each other. It's like the duo that we never saw coming that we didn't know we needed. So I mean, I'm all for them dating. I love Amanda Kloots. Michael A is literally one of my favorite men from Katie's season ever. So it's like two of my favorite people connecting. And you never know what the future holds for these two, but I love them together. I don't have anything but great things to say about these two.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't want us to talk about them, then they wouldn't post so many pictures together. I mean, the first time they were spotted together, they hung out together. They like everyone was like, oh my God," and then they did it again like 2 weeks later. So maybe like they like this attention, and it's all about like the PR. Gabby, what's your take on it? Do you think that there is something more going on here? Are they just friends? Is this for attention? What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with Gianna. I think these two have so much in common. They also are single parents, of course, to I think they both have little boys, right? So they just have so
Yeah.
much to talk about, to relate on. And I mean, the first time they hung out, I think they'd been friends on social media, online for a little while, talking back and forth so they can kind of get to know each other. But they've only literally hung out one time. So it's like the first time they meet in person, it's not going to be a date, right? Probably not. They're just going to like hang out. So since it's still very, very early stages, I even though they are technically just friends, because they're of course not going to probably announce a full-fledged relationship yet after only hanging out a few times, I think that it's very much so a possibility down the line. And if it goes well, I think the best relationships start as friends, right? So we're definitely still in those early stages. And again, like you were saying, Gianna, a couple of my favorite people, they're just literal angels on Earth. I mean, Michael A is like one of the best men I think we've seen on The Bachelor, even in his short time. Like, you could just tell he's a genuine guy, and so is Amanda. So I think it would be a success, even if, it's only for a couple years or something like that. I don't know. I could definitely ship them.
No, blend the families, move in together. Do we think we have a ship name for them, Gianna? Like Manda or Eichel, Klutz, McClutz? What are we thinking? It's kind of hard to merge an M and an A.
I was gonna say like Mamanda or something, but yeah, their names are so hard to merge. So I just say like, I feel like Michael and Amanda also are perfect names. Like, not only are they perfect humans, but
Mm.
like Michael and Amanda, like it's not that hard to say their two names together. So I don't think that they'll have a specific ship name, but I think that they can just live as two names together, you know?
Okay. I like hashtag Manda. Hashtag Manda
Yes.
Oh.
A because it's so Michael A. And speaking of Michael A, that brings us to our next topic as he has reunited with Katie and John in Cabo. So Katie and John went to Cabo like almost 2 weeks ago for Katie Thurston's 31st birthday. And I think they meant to leave, but they kept posting on their Instagram stories that the flights were canceled and that they were stuck in Cabo. It might be because of Omicron. A lot of flights have been canceled all over the US. And it looks like they're staying longer. And Michael A has arrived with a couple other guys from Katie's season who got eliminated early. So we might not remember them. But Gabby, what do we think of John and Katie stuck in Mexico? Do we think the cameras should be there? Should this be a spinoff show?
Oh my gosh, Bachelor in non-paradise when you're stuck on an island, or Survivor, Bachelor Survivor.
Yes.
That would be super
That would
fun.
be so, so funny. Gianna, what do we think of Michael A crashing the trip? Is something going on here?
Ooh, I mean, I don't think like anything in particular is going on. You know, I feel like, again, back to Michael A., he is such a great person. He's a mature dude. So I feel like it's completely a friendship thing. You know, there's nothing wrong with
Yep.
Michael A having dated Katie on her season, of course, and then staying friends with John, who he was side by side with for weeks, months at a time, and Katie together. So, I mean, I don't think it's, again, anything going on. I think that this is totally fine. You know, we see members from Bachelor Nation that were on the same season or other seasons always linking up, traveling together, you know, visiting each other in different states. So, this is totally nothing out of the norm for these people in Bachelor Nation. So I don't think it's anything that we should look too deep into.
Yeah, and it looks like they're having a great time. I mean, being stuck in Mexico is not a bad place to be. We're gonna talk a little bit about Michelle now because she gave us an update on the Clickbait Nation podcast about her and Nayte. She says that they have been doing long distance from Austin to Minnesota, so they have not made any plans or arrangements to move in together. They're making things work. It's not a far flight, not sure about the drive, but Michelle says if they go anywhere in public, they always get recognized, especially Nayte because he is so tall. Gabby, Michelle and Nayte have been really into each other. What is your thoughts on their relationship? It's been a couple months. Do you think they're staying together? What do you see for them in the future?
Yeah, I mean, I really like them together. I've liked them from the beginning. I'm so glad they ended up together. And it really sounds like it's going well. I mean, they were kind of completely smitten on after the final rose. She was just like obsessed with him and he was the same. And their parents, how they're all friends. Like, I think it's really working out really well. I mean, they even got all that money for a house. So even though they're doing long distance right now, I don't think it's going to be long until we see them in a new place. And I think that's really going to solidify everything. I think they're going to do well. Maybe the first month or so after they move in together, if there are any issues, they might come up around that time, but I'm hoping not.
Yeah, they definitely seem really into each other. You know, I do get worried sometimes because Nayte is like partying a lot and going out, and Michelle just seems a lot more grounded with her teaching career and everything. So, I mean, I wish them the best. I think they are super happy together. So, I can't wait to see what their future holds. And Michelle also chimed in on haters and hate comments, and she says that she finds it ridiculous how people will send her paragraphs and paragraphs in her DMs. She says those people are wasting their time and energy because she won't even bother reading those crazy messages. Haters waste their time for even sending them. She's so unbothered. Gianna, what do you think about this and Michelle's way to handle hate comments? Have you ever sent someone three, four paragraphs in their DMs?
No, oh my god, I would never do that. Like, these internet trolls are insane, or like these people that think that they can get to celebrities by sliding into their DMs and sending them like hateful paragraphs. It's just so crazy. So, I applaud Michelle for the way that she's handling this situation, because that's how you have to handle these types of situations when you're in the limelight and you have such a big following now. You know, it's the Kardashians don't go through their DMs and read every single hate comment. Sure, they probably see all the hate comments they receive on their posts, but I think these celebrities have it down pat when it's like, put the horse blinders on, like, don't read into it. These are people that don't even know what they're talking about. And Michelle's exactly right. These people are wasting their time and energy. And I hope she continues to stay unbothered. I think that's like so important on social media. We see it happen. Like, I'm sure, like, even we have received hate comments in the past, and like, we're not big celebrities, and all you can do is ignore it. You cannot let these things get to you because it's literally people on the internet that don't know you, that are probably insecure with themselves, just spewing words at you just to, get their own sad negative energy off of their own chest. So it's like, it's really just the way that you have to go about things, and Michelle is doing a great job. So I think everyone can learn
Yeah.
from Michelle.
Yeah, she really wasn't talking about, like, comments, she was just, like, talking about, like, these long messages, and, like, Tia chimed in, she's like, "Don't even read those," because it's crazy how people will, like, take the time out of their day to send you such a long message, and it's just, like, it's really not worth even responding to those, because it's literally crazy, but I enjoy, getting to know a lot of Bachelor Nation stars on these Bachelor podcasts, like Michelle, because she's so different on the podcast than I feel like she was on her season. Like, on all the podcast interviews I've listened to her, she's so fun and just, like, chill and down to earth. And I felt like on The Bachelorette, she was just a little bit more serious and stiff at times. So I just like getting to know her personality because she's a lot more funny than I think she came across on her season. Gabby, looking back, was Michelle's season your cup of tea, or was Katie's of last year?
Oh my gosh, that's a good question. But yeah, I am so surprised to hear you say that. I need to listen to these podcasts and kind of get her personality more because it like
Mm,
isn't that so weird to think that you have your own entire show on national TV and yet like for
yeah.
weeks and weeks and yet it might not show all sides of you and like that just seems so crazy to me. So I'm glad that she's doing some more media outlets to just like still let us get to know her. I definitely liked Michelle's season over Katie's, I think, even though she was a little more mature and like structured and like taking no BS, Michelle, I feel like then Katie's was kind of like all over the place. Um yeah, I don't know. I was more
I
of a
get
fan of
that.
Michelle.
Yeah, I feel that. Moving on to our next topic, Riley and Maurissa. There has been rumors, speculation for over a week that the pair has possibly broken up after Maurissa has cleared her Instagram of all recent pictures of Riley, changed her Facebook status to single, liked a couple of cryptic tweets, and their Cameo account is temporarily unavailable. Gianna, what do we think is going on here? Do you think they are officially done? What is your take?
Yeah, they're totally broken up. Like, the evidence is clear as day. And I think that they're just laying low for now. I don't think that Riley and Marissa are the types to really want to be in the limelight, especially if it's for something negative such as this. So I think that, they've probably seen, those couples on Bachelor Nation, such as Katie and Blake, who announced their breakup in like this long post. And then we're in the media for like at least a week, and people like us, we're talking about it over and over and like what happened. And like
Uh-huh.
it was totally predictable. And that's negative energy again for these celebrities. So I feel like they just didn't want any part of that. And they kind of wanted to take time to themselves and go about their breakup in a more private way. Cause I feel like out of all of the relationships, too, like, yeah, they posted pictures together and stuff, but they were more on the private side. Like, we couldn't really talk about what they were doing on a day to day. Like, it was just, we got maybe photo dumps of them traveling or like photos every so often, but we never really got like a ton of stories of them together or like a lot of details. And Marissa wasn't really like in your face. Whereas I feel like Katie and Blake's relationship that ultimately ended, they were like all over social media doing stuff. So I think Riley and Marissa were just different in that sense, even in the relationship. And now that's how they're handling the end of their relationship. So it makes sense. I feel like they will announce a breakup eventually because it's all the buzz right now and that's all anyone's talking about. So they are being pushed for an answer and they'll have to give an answer at the end of the day. So I think that they'll handle it. But for now, they're both taking time for themselves. So it makes sense.
Yeah, they have to let us know. We fell in love with their relationship. We were invested. And I mean, it's not that we're entitled to know like what went wrong, but I feel like we are entitled to at least a statement because if we're going to support you and watch you for all the good times, we want to know what happens in the breakup. This relationship played out on TV. And if they did break up, they're going to have to give their ring back to ABC. So I'm sure The Bachelor will require a statement, or they'll even have Riley or Maurissa go on one of their famous podcasts and we can kind of hear what happened. I have a PR prediction that I think Marissa and Riley are going to announce their breakup on Sunday because we know that Sunday mornings were like their thing and it was like so nostalgic and they made those like cute
No.
videos. And I feel like if they started it on a Sunday, they have to end it on a Sunday and it would be so good for like PR purposes. Gabby, what are your thoughts on this? When do you think they're going to announce their breakup or do you think they'll make it work and get back together?
Well, I do think they are broken up. They're probably going to announce it. And a little bit different than from what you were saying, Gianna. I know it's like people don't want to give us bad news, but everybody loved Riley and Marissa so much. Like, they're going to
Mhm.
last if anybody. Like, we were all behind them. So I think if they might be like afraid to announce it because they don't know what kind of, press or reaction people are gonna get, but I really think most of us are just gonna be sad for them because we really, really liked them as a couple and are, going to be cheering for them, rooting for them no matter what happens in the future. So if I were them, I would say, or if I were telling them, I would say, don't be afraid to, announce it if that's the case. Um, because we never know what goes on behind closed doors and maybe they just weren't perfect for each other, but we still obviously love them individually too.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to like now there's all like the speculation. So it's like we're like, did they break up? Did they not break up? We're assuming they broke up because they would have said that they're still together if they
Mhm.
wanted to defend it since everyone's talking about it. So it's kind of just like it would be different if they just like announced the breakup out of nowhere. But now I feel like we've had time to digest it for like almost
Yeah.
2 weeks. So it's just like when they do announce it, it's like, yeah, I mean, we saw this coming, so we'll have to kind of stay tuned for breakup statements. I mean, I think they're going to come in the next couple of weeks because they can't just keep us in limbo forever. And on to our last Bachelor Nation news topic of the week. Tayshia has been removed from the Bachelor Happy Hour podcast Instagram, and Serena P has been taking over co-hosting with Becca. Tayshia has began to separate herself from Bachelor Nation as a whole after they made her talk about Zach at the Men Tell All. She even missed out on After the Final Rose for Michelle's season, and Caitlyn was left to host herself. A lot of people were talking. Maybe she said she had COVID, but then Tayshia was seen traveling the next day to Orange County for the holidays. So, do we think that she is removing herself from Bachelor Nation, Gianna, because of the Zach stuff? Is she too busy being a celebrity? Was she possibly fired? Is this mutual? Is this a hiatus? What do you think Tayshia's future is with Bachelor Nation?
Yeah, I mean, I can see exactly why she would be removing herself from Bachelor Nation. I mean, she was kind of put into this limelight and everything was going great. She was still with Zach. But then when the breakup happened, that's all anyone was talking about instead of talking about her being a host and like the power she had on Bachelor Nation. And Tayshia, the whole thing with Tayshia and Zach that we always talked about was would they go in separate directions? We talked about this even before they broke up because as we know, Tayshia's more like, let me travel. She wanted to be an on-camera personality, and Zach is way more low-key. So I think that, Tayshia wanting to and aspiring to be that on-camera personality, if she stayed with Bachelor Nation, it would have always been about her and Zach and like her relationship
Mm,
failing and like the process not working for her rather than her being a host or an advocate or, a podcast host. So I can see why she's removing herself. And, when you break up with somebody, you want to leave. I mean, I think we've all experienced this. You want to leave pretty much every aspect of your life behind, like not only the person that you were with, but, that place that you guys used to go to and that thing you used to do together and even a movie you guys used to watch, you don't want to watch it anymore. So I feel like she's doing
yeah.
exactly that with the franchise as a whole and just kind of moving into the next chapter of her life. I don't think she's going to completely separate away from it just because she was such a great voice in Bachelor Nation. I just think that she's just becoming a little bit less than what we've seen her been doing in the last at least year. So that's what I think is
Mm.
going on with Tayshia, and I don't blame her for it. I would do the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, I just think she's taking a little bit of a break from Bachelor Nation. I don't think that she's not gonna do the podcast again or come in as a co-host or possibly even host the next season of The Bachelorette. I just think she's taking some time for herself because it was a very, high energy end of the year for her. She was scrutinized and watched for everything she did, everything she said, everything she posted, and she even tweeted the other day, "Every story has an end, but in life, every ending is just a new beginning." Gabby, what do you think is next for Tayshia? There's also rumors that she might be getting a second Bachelorette season.
Oh, I did see those rumors. I would be
Mhm.
on board for that. I don't think she would be on board for that
Me
because, like
neither.
you were saying, yeah, like you were saying, Gianna, it was like it seemed like her and Zach were so good for a long time. And then, you know, it seems like it was a painful breakup. We saw, how broken she was when she was even just trying to talk about it on TV. So yeah, I mean, it seems like it's still very fresh, very painful. That's why she probably doesn't want to be involved in all the Bachelor stuff where everyone's talking about it. And like you said, it didn't work out for her. Plus, she's been married and divorced before again. So I'm sure she was so excited about this being her person, done with dating, don't have to worry about all that anymore. And then now, here we go again. So I mean, so sad for her. I really hope she doesn't leave Bachelor Nation fully. I don't think she will. I just think it's still fresh, like you were saying, and she'll be back soon. And as much fun as another Tayshia season would be, I don't think she's gonna go that route again either.
I would love to see her be the Bachelorette again. I think that would be crazy. To wrap things up, Gianna, can you tell me your favorite Bachelor Nation moment of the week?
Oh boy, out of the ones we talked about, let's see.
Or
Ooh.
anything else that we missed that you think, and then Gabby, you can go right after, and then I'll share mine. Anything we talked about today, or just anything else with the episode? There was a lot going on this week.
Well, I guess my favorite because we've been talking about it all week, and like the thing that's just making my blood boil is the whole Shanae and Cassidy thing. Like, I can't stop thinking about that. So I can't really focus
Yeah.
on any other Bachelor Nation news because I'm still like so mad at both of these girls. And I went on my tangents in other videos. You guys can check them out on our shared news channel. So yeah, I am still mad at those girls. I don't like them. I don't like their personality. I don't like that they're mean girls and I'm over it. And I can't wait to see what happens next. Well, not this coming week, but next week. I really wish football wasn't a thing because I really just want to see what happens. But that's been my, I guess, favorite or most invigorating moment from this week for me.
Gianna's
Yeah,
rant of the week. Got it.
I agree. I would say just because we're, starting um nice and fast on the Clayton season, we're right in the middle. That's kind of what's been on my mind the most and all the drama with the blonde girls. But other than that, I would probably say the Riley and Maurissa thing just because that was so surprising to me. And I am like waiting on the edge of my seat to hear from both of them, checking every day. So yeah.
Yeah, well, we will hopefully find out soon. I think my favorite thing we talked about was Katie and John in Cabo missing their flights and their flights getting canceled. Like, they are quite literally stuck in Mexico. And when I said that earlier, I was like, Katie and John stuck in Mexico. I'm like, that needs its own spin-off show, just like a 3-episode special. I would love to watch it. Katie, if you're listening, can you just keep giving us the funny content? Because she cracks me up. And that is everything we have to share with you guys. So let us know what you guys think of all of the Bachelor Nation news of the week. What was your favorite moment? Any comments, questions, opinions you have of the topics we discussed, leave them below in the comments. And be sure to check out our TikTok at Shared News 4 as we have a new TikTok coming that might show up on your FYP. As always, I'm your host, Zachary Reality, joined by Gianna Gravalese and Gabby Gonta. Our social media handles are on the screen right now, so be sure to give us a follow, come say hello, and we'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Bye.